Ever get chills listening to a speech? Like the kind that makes you want to conquer the world.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to dive deep into the how and the why of motivational speeches.
Right.
And get this, our sources are, well, a list of iconic pop culture speeches, the ones everyone knows.
Yeah.
And a teacher's guide about motivating students.
Interesting. That's a cool combination.
What's fascinating is even though these sources are like worlds apart,
All right. So different.
they both emphasize, guess what?
What?
Perseverance.
Yeah.
That never give up attitude.
It's true. It's like a universal theme, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is how they approach it.
Yeah.
The teacher's guide, for example, it uses this really clever analogy of life being like a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
It's not about avoiding the drops, right?
No.
It's about how those drops are what make the ride so thrilling.
Makes sense. We learn to embrace the ups and downs.
Otherwise, it'd be like, think about it. Would you want a roller coaster that's just a flat line?
No way. Boring.
Totally. And both sources actually talk about how these inevitable dips, these, the downs, aren't like roadblocks.
Right.
More like detours.
Detours. Yeah. I like that.
Sometimes a setback can actually put you on a path to something even better.
Exactly. Like Steve Jobs dropping out of college seemed like a failure at the time.
Huge setback.
But it actually led him to explore his passions and create Apple.
Exactly. It's like, whoa, those detours can be the key to unlocking your true potential.
They can be, for sure.
Speaking of unlocking potential, both sources highlight this big idea of finding your why.
Oh, yeah, the why.
And this is where Jim Carrey's question comes in, that commencement speech.
I love that speech.
He said, what did they need that your talent can provide?
Wow. Powerful question.
It's not just about what you're good at. It's about using those skills, your talents, to actually make a difference,
Absolutely. It connects with Dan Pink's work on intrinsic motivation, that drive to do things because they matter to us, not for external rewards.
It's finding that sweet spot where your passions and talents intersect with what the world needs.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of like what John Keating said in Dead Poets Society. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary.
Such a powerful line. It's about finding work that lights you up. Work that's aligned with, your values, your passions. Life's too short to waste time on things that don't feel meaningful.
Right. Have you ever felt like you're just on autopilot, just going through the motions without really asking, why am I doing this?
Oh, for sure. I think we've all been there.
And I think both these sources are really pushing us to connect with that deeper sense of purpose.
Absolutely. Because it's that purpose that fuels us, that gives us the strength to keep going when things get tough.
Yeah. It becomes like your internal compass.
I like that. A compass.
Yeah.
Guiding you through those detours and setbacks.
And speaking of tough times, one theme that kind of surprised me was the power of human connection.
Oh, interesting.
Remember Ellie's quote from Contact?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing we found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
That's a powerful one. It reminds us that we need each other, that support system, to navigate those challenges and celebrate the victories, too.
And that support doesn't just help us through tough times. It can actually push us to achieve incredible things together.
Right, like that whole no I in team mentality.
Like in that speech from Any Given Sunday.
Coach D'Amato.
Inch by inch. Fight for that inch.
Yeah, it's about that collective effort. But what's interesting? The teacher's guide has this slightly different angle on leadership.
Oh, really?
It's not just about giving, those rousing speeches.
Okay.
It's about being adaptable and understanding trends, too.
So being the rah-rah cheerleader isn't enough.
Not quite. Got to be strategic, responsive to change.
Which, now that you mention it, that connects back to our whole embracing change idea.
Full circle. It's a call to be active participants in shaping our own journey, which leads us to another part of these speeches. The techniques they use to actually get their message across.
Right.
It's one thing to have inspiring themes,
Yeah.
But how do they get it across so it sticks with us? What are their tools?
Exactly. Like what makes them so effective?
Well, storytelling is huge. Think about the examples we've been talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Rocky, sharing his struggles, Chris Gardner, his whole path to success. They're not just giving us information.
Right.
They're creating a connection.
By sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, I've been there. I get it.
Exactly. Showing their vulnerability.
Makes them seem more human, more relatable.
For sure. And that vulnerability is so powerful. And it's not just those speeches. Think John Keating using poetry to inspire those kids.
Oh, Dead Poets Society. He wasn't just lecturing.
No, he was creating an experience.
Yeah. Like the difference between reading about a sunset and actually seeing it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That brings us to another technique. Vivid imagery, metaphors. They paint pictures in your mind.
Right,
Oh,
right.
right.
Make those abstract ideas more concrete. Like, remember that roller coaster analogy? Ups and downs of life.
Oh, yeah, from the teacher's guide.
Yeah.
Instantly understandable.
So we got storytelling, imagery, metaphors.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, often overlooked.
What's that?
Repetition.
Oh, interesting.
It sounds technical,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about just repeating the same words over and over.
No, it's about emphasizing key points so they stick.
Think of a catchy jingle that gets stuck in your head,
Oh,
like inch by inch. Not just information, but it drives home that idea, you know?
Small, consistent effort. Oh, but don't forget humor.
Oh, yeah?
A good joke can make the speaker more approachable, right?
It's like you're connecting with a friend, not just listening to a lecture.
Exactly. So we've got storytelling, imagery, repetition, humor.
Are we getting superpowers here?
We might be, but there's one more crucial tool.
Okay, I'm ready.
A strong call to action.
The what now?
Yeah. Like when the speaker says, okay, I fired you up. Now go do this.
Like Steve Jobs saying, find your passion, go after it.
Yeah.
Or John Keating, make your lives extraordinary.
Right. It's not just about listening, it's about doing.
Taking action.
But even with all these techniques, there's something deeper that ties it all together.
Okay, what's that?
Authenticity. You can tell when someone's not being real.
Right, absolutely. But when they believe their message,
Oh, yeah, you can feel it. Their passion, their conviction. And that resonates on a whole other level.
it makes you wonder, why do these speeches work?
Yeah.
What is it about these words that, like, light that fire in us?
They've tapped into something, that's for sure. Almost like a secret code of human motivation.
It really is fascinating.
And that's what we'll explore next, the psychology behind all of this.
Okay, let's get into it. It's amazing how, like, certain words or even stories can make us feel so motivated.
Yeah, they really can.
It's like they've unlocked some secret code inside of us.
It's true. It's not like there's a single secret formula, though. But there are definitely some key psychological things at play that kind of explain why motivational speeches work so well.
Okay, so what's happening in our brains then when we hear these, like, really inspiring words and we get that feeling of, I can do anything?
Well, one big thing is our need for connection. It's that feeling of belonging to something bigger than ourselves. Like, as humans, we crave that connection. We're wired for it.
It's like we're not meant to go through life alone. We thrive in communities.
Exactly. And motivational speeches often tap into that. They create this sense of, like, a collective identity. Like, we're all in this together.
This is not just about the individual.
Right. Think about those sports movies where the coach gives that big speech that unites the team.
Oh, yeah. Gets them fired up to win.
It's not just about the game. It's about that shared struggle, the camaraderie, belonging to something meaningful.
It's like when you're at a concert and everyone's singing along.
Yes.
There's this sense of unity, this shared energy.
And that can be a super powerful motivator. It pushes us to work harder, go beyond our own limits.
Yeah, okay. So there's that connection piece.
Mm-hmm. But there is another element too, meaning and purpose.
Well, that makes sense, like finding your why, right?
Exactly. We talked about that earlier. We all want to feel like our lives matter, that we're making a difference, not just, going through the motions. And that's what a lot of motivational speeches do, remind us of our potential.
Like they're holding up a mirror and saying, look at what you can do.
Right. Remember Jim Carrey's question, what did they need that your talent can provide?
Oh, yeah.
He's challenging us to find that connection between our abilities and what the world needs.
So it's not just about being successful. It's about contributing to something bigger.
And that brings us back to John Keating.
Dead Poets Society.
Carpe diem, seize the day, make your lives extraordinary. He wasn't just telling them to have fun. He was urging them to find work that truly resonated with them.
And that resonates with us because, we all crave that feeling of significance.
Of course, knowing our lives have purpose. But there's another piece here.
Okay, what's that?
Emotions.
Oh, right.
These speeches aren't just, boring lectures.
No.
They're designed to make us feel things. Hope, excitement, determination.
Think about those speeches that give you goosebumps. The ones that make you want to, jump out of your seat.
Exactly. Those emotions, they make the message stick with us.
Yeah, you're not just understanding it, you're feeling it.
Right. And those strong emotions, combined with our need for connection, our desire for meaning,
Mhm.
it creates this powerful cocktail for motivation.
So it's like they're activating different parts of our brains.
They are all
Yeah.
working together to inspire us. And the amazing thing is, we can actually learn from these speakers,
Oh, interesting.
apply their techniques to our own lives.
So whether we're giving a presentation, leading a team, even just trying to motivate ourselves,
It's all connected. They've given us this roadmap, these tools for tapping into that inner drive.
it's like they've cracked the code. Now we can use it.
Exactly. And the most important thing to remember is this. We all have that power within us to achieve amazing things. These speeches aren't, magic.
Right.
They're reminders of what we're capable of.
They're like sparks.
Yes! They urge us to find our purpose, embrace challenges, and make our lives extraordinary.
So the next time you're feeling lost, uninspired, remember these speakers.
Let their stories fuel your journey, because you have the power to make your dreams a reality.
It's a powerful reminder that motivation, it's not something that just happens to us.
No.
We can cultivate it, nurture it. But I'm curious, we've talked about these external sources of motivation,
Mm-hmm.
these speeches. What about self-motivation?
Good question. What drives us from the inside when those external things fade away?
Exactly.
That's a great question, because ultimately it's that self-motivation that sustains us on our journey.
It really is.
And that's what we'll be exploring next, the fascinating world of self-motivation.
It's funny. We spent all this time unpacking these motivational speeches.
Yeah.
But I think there's something even bigger at play.
I agree. Those speeches, they can light a fire under you, but
Yeah.
what happens when the lights go down, the applause stops?
Right.
That's where self-motivation kicks in.
It's like the difference between someone giving you a map
Oh, yeah.
and you learning to navigate on your own.
Exactly. You need that inner compass to really guide you.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So when we talk about self-motivation, what are we really talking about?
Well, it's a lot of things, really.
Mhm.
Psychological stuff, emotions, even biology plays a role.
So it's more than just willpower or being tough.
Oh, way more. It's about understanding what drives us deep down
Yeah.
and then using that to reach our goals.
Okay, so how do we tap into that? What are the pieces of this self-motivation puzzle?
Well, first off, you got to have a clear picture of what you want.
Okay, like a vision.
Yeah, a vision. Remember we talked about finding your why?
Mm-hmm.
That's crucial here. It can't just be about impressing other people.
Right.
It has to come from inside. What truly matters to you? What gets you fired up?
So it's not enough to just say, I want to be successful.
Nope. Got to define what success means for you. And that's going to be different for everyone.
Some people, it's money, right? Or a fancy job title.
Sure. For others, it's about making a difference in the world. Or being creative. Or even just living a life full of joy.
So you got to get clear on those values.
Right, why?
And make sure your goals match them.
Exactly. That's how you tap into intrinsic motivation. That drive that comes from inside.
Makes sense. When you're doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work.
Totally. But it's not just about having a vision. You got to believe in yourself, too.
Believe you can actually achieve it.
Mm-hmm. That self-belief, it's not about being cocky.
Right.
It's about knowing your strengths and knowing you can learn and grow along the way.
Which brings us back to, embracing failure.
Full circle again. Setbacks happen, but it's how you see them that matters.
Yeah.
Do they stop you or do they teach you something?
Each time you overcome something, you get stronger.
Right. You build resilience and your belief in yourself grows too.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
Aha, I like that. And self-belief, it's not something you're born with.
Oh.
You build it over time, through experience, through the people around you, even how you talk to yourself.
Oh, man, that inner voice. Mine can be so mean sometimes.
We all have that inner critic. The trick is to learn to challenge those negative thoughts.
Turn them into something positive.
Exactly. Be your own cheerleader.
Okay, so we have a vision. We believe in ourselves. But let's be honest, staying motivated every day is hard.
It is. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And how do you keep that momentum going?
One thing that helps is breaking those big goals down.
Oh, okay. Into smaller steps.
Yep. Sometimes those big dreams, they can be overwhelming.
It's like trying to climb a mountain all at once.
Exactly. Break it into base camps. Each step feels more manageable.
And as you hit those milestones, you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Keeps you going.
Like checking things off your to-do list gives you a boost.
So realistic goals, breaking them down, celebrating the wins. Anything else? What about when it gets really tough?
Your support system is huge. Friends, family, mentors, people who get what you're trying to do.
We all need someone in our corner.
We do, especially when you hit a roadblock or start doubting yourself.
They can give you that push you need.
Encouragement, accountability, even a fresh perspective.
Like having your own personal cheerleading squad.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate those wins, no matter how small. It keeps that positive energy flowing.
Okay, setting goals, building our team, celebrating. What else is missing from this self-motivation recipe?
Self-care.
Oh, right. We always forget that one.
It's so important. You can't pour from an empty cup.
That's true.
Motivation isn't just about pushing harder. It's also knowing your limits, taking time to recharge.
Do things you enjoy. Spend time in nature. Get enough sleep.
All of that. It's an investment in your well-being and in your motivation, long term.
It's like taking care of a garden.
Exactly. You got to nurture the soil if you want anything to grow.
That's a great analogy. Finding that balance between pushing yourself and giving yourself a break.
That's the key. Creating a rhythm that works for you.
This has been so eye-opening. It's amazing how much control we actually have over our own motivation.
It really is. And that's the big takeaway here.
Yeah.
Motivation, it's not some magical thing that some people have and others don't. It's a skill. You can learn it.
And by using these tools, the vision, the belief, the goals, the support, the self-care,
You can unlock that inner drive, achieve anything you set your mind to. And remember those motivational speeches. They're more than just entertainment. They're full of lessons we can use.
yeah. So whether you're inspired by Rocky, Steve Jobs, or even John Keating,
Let their stories inspire you on your own journey. You have the power to make your life amazing. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into motivation. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep chasing those dreams.